Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, LarryWBrooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we had over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
The Prime Real Estate Network Live. I'm your host, Ric Davis. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. We have a really exciting episode planned for you all. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody checking out the stream on YouTube and Facebook. Get involved in today's episode. You can leave myself a relevant real estate question in the comments section, and we may very well be able to get your question answered on today's episode. Man, it's a great day to be in real estate. It's a great day to be here in Houston, Texas. And it's a great day to be a partner, an affiliate, or a team member here at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. If you're ever here in the Houston area, feel free to stop by our Learning and Education Center at 2600 Southfield West, Suite 310 here in Houston, Texas. Man, we will be hearing from later this episode the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. He's been away on assignment, but he got some really exciting news to pass along to the Prime Real Estate Network audience as far as what's been going on here in the local real estate market. Just jump. In the local real estate market and abroad. I want to take a little time right now to introduce this week's guests. Both of our guests are some of the most educated, knowledgeable, and influential members of the real estate lending space. They're mortgage loan experts. They're with Coast2Coast Mortgage Lending. I want to thank both of these ladies so much for carving some time out of their schedule to sit in on the Prime Real Estate Network Live. I would like to introduce this week's guests, Miss Jacqueline Singleton and Miss Christy Fioravanti. How are you?
Hi, guys. Thank you.
How you doing, man? Thank you so much, ladies, for sitting in with me this week. Larry and I like to always make the joke that we have our show at the most busy time of the work week for those in the real estate space, especially with so many closings that are scheduled on Thursdays and Fridays. I want to thank you, ladies, so much for carving some time out of your schedule to sit in with us. So for the members of our audience that's going to be hearing from you all or experiencing what you guys have over at Coast2Coast for the first time, could you just take some time, ladies, to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about how long you've been in mortgage lending?
Sure. So Jackie and I, we've been doing this for years combined, probably 15. What we do at Coast2Coast and what Jackie and I specifically focus on is creative financing. It's so difficult sometimes when someone's told no, they get so sad, and it can be really devastating. So we focus on making sure we can tell everybody yes. We have access to over 250 lenders, and we really lean into that. We very rarely have told anybody no. We do this for ourselves, for our buyers, for our real estate partners. We're huge into education, educating our buyers and our real estate partners. We think that that's our value. That's what we bring to the table. We want everyone to be ready, know the answers, have a great foundation to be able to speak on mortgage lending so that their buyers find them to be the best resource. So that's...
The reason I was so excited, and Jacqueline, I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself shortly, but the reason I was so excited, and Chrissy, you just spoke on it, is about how you ladies provide access to creative financing. Yes. From the realtor space, it's really important for us to be able to have as many tools in our tool belt as possible to be able to solve any potential issue, problem that any one of our clients may have. So Jacqueline, not only I want you to introduce yourself to our audience, but could you talk about how and what type of creative financing products do your real estate partners who are on the real estate side or the realtor side of the table take advantage of?
Sure. So yes, I'm Jacqueline Singleton, and I've been in this space for over, I guess, like she said, combined 15 years experience. We have many loan products to help our buyers achieve home ownership, from your self-employed buyers to your investors, to W-2 employed buyers. And that's important, because the reason I kind of financial means of financing is, or means of employment is because that makes a difference in what loans we can get for them. Because a lot of people feel that because they've been self-employed that they haven't done their taxes, or they they don't show enough income on their taxes, that they don't have options. So whether it doesn't matter what your employment status is, again, creative financing, there's a lot of options with our bevy of lenders, over 250, that allows us to offer you a solution.
Has there been a product, something that you ladies have been working with this year that you found has been really to the advantage of those self-employed, those business owners, those entrepreneurs that you may have previously had difficulties working with, that you have recently been able to reach back out to those people, provide them with a new option, and they've been able to take advantage?
Jackie, do you mind?
Yeah,
Please.
no. So I would say asset depletion is a big kind of win for some of the clients that don't want to move their cash position. You've got a lot of people that don't actually have the cash, but they have assets, and so we can reach out to buyers. And that's a newer product this year that we've kind of really tapped into to offer solutions to people. Also, the DSCR loans, they're older, but they're very popular. They've become very popular in the last couple of years. That's for your investors. A lot of people want to build out a real estate portfolio as an investor, just everyday people like you and I, and that is so possible because of the minimum amount. The qualifying factor to become an investor is so simple. And people just aren't educated enough to know exactly that is an option. I mean, most of these lenders want you to have a portfolio of 10, 15 homes on your portfolio with them. So we're not scrubbing, income. So income's not a factor when you're an investor. Tax returns, things like that, that's not a factor. You just have to have a minimum FICO of, we'd like around 660, and we can talk to you from there. So there are many. I could go on and on with products that are people that we were able to just get access to and offer to a vast amount of our clients.
I don't want to leave out the bank statement loan, though. The bank statement loan, I've been crushing with the bank statement loan. Our self-employed buyers don't even know that that's available. So what we do is we take your 1-year bank statements, we do a calculation. I need 50%. I can use 50% of your bank statement income. I don't even need a CPA letter. I don't care. I do care what you're filing on your taxes, but it's not relevant for this specific loan type. So that's been a game changer. I'm doing a ton of these for my self-employed buyers.
Okay, I have a question, ladies, because it's so relevant now that a lot of the publicly traded home builders, as well as some of the publicly owned home builders, have been really offering some really generous sales incentives and price discounts for finished homes, inventory homes. And a lot of those have attracted a lot of potential buyers. Mm-hmm. How often have you been able to help clients who may have not been able to be qualified with the builder's lender because they may be constrained by some things that you and your organization may not be tied to? How often have you guys worked with those quote unquote second chance opportunities from that standpoint? And are there some ways that we could work with that new home crowd, those people who want to take advantage of those incentives?
Absolutely. I've been doing quite a bit of that here. The thing with the home builders lender is it's generally a bank. So they're not working with a broker, where we're brokers. We have access to those 250 lenders. So we can get creative. Again, the asset depletion, a P&L loan, just give me your P&Ls. There's no ratio loan. There's a lot of available loans out there. So when the lender tells them no at the builder, generally they'll offer them a broker, but they have the option to shop it. And the builder will, I'm seeing that the builder will allow them to keep that incentive offer because their lender can't get them approved. So we're able to keep that. I'm able to shop them and get them a great rate and really help them through the process and win those deals.
You know, and this question for you as well, Jackie. How often have those new home sales agents reached out to you to kind of facilitate building those type of relationships so that these files don't necessarily just die on the vine? I know a lot of what I and my team do as far as marketing is reaching out to these salespeople, seeing if they need any assistance as far as scrubbing backlog, that type of thing. Do you often have those people in that position reach out to you all to see if you can kind of look at some of their old deals? Because if so, I think that's an opportunity for us all to take advantage and help a lot more clients.
Absolutely, it's an opportunity, and it does not happen enough. Not enough, because a lot of the builders agents feel like they have to use, or they're incentivized. I don't want to say that because I don't exactly know, but I feel that they're incentivized to use their in-house lender, and only if it's like the last ditch effort, like they have no other options. Well, they usually reach out to an outside broker because they really want to keep those deals in-house. And a lot of buyers think if they go with the lender's bank that they're going to get a better deal. And that is absolutely not the case. What we really like to do is to have them go ahead, get a pre-approval, get your loan estimate, but let us compare it with us. Shop, be smart. Like, just because you're using they're telling you they're going to give you all these concessions and money's off your down payment and things like that. But let us take a look at it. It doesn't hurt anything. Let us shop you against, at least do a comparison, apples to apples comparison with what they're offering you to see if we can beat them in any way. And a lot of times we find that there's a lot of what we call junk fees that they in there that we can eliminate and get you your cash to close down. So we just encourage the buyers agents or the builders agents to work with us also.
Yeah, you're absolutely right though.
No, that's something that as a best practice, I always try to impart upon the members of our team here at Brooks and Davis is that could be a part of your marketing and outreach is to be a service provider, to kind of broker that communication that you ladies say is so lacking. But one of the cool things about being able to interview entrepreneurs and business owners like you two is that it gives members of our audience an opportunity to learn a little bit about your professional evolution. I know a lot of times, especially when you're out and about networking and meeting other business professionals and like-minded entrepreneurs, they meet you as you are. And a lot of time it's underreported or undervalued the evolutionary steps and the path that you had to walk to become who you are currently. So depending upon who feels the most comfortable starting, I would be curious and our audience would be curious to know, A, if you had worked with any other mortgage lenders before Coast2Coast, what brought you to your current organization? And do you have any advice for new members of the lending industry as far as what to look for, as far as who to partner with from that standpoint?
There you go.
While you kid.
Yeah, my evolution is I started as a processor. So I was a mortgage loan processor. I worked for loan officers. I was determined to learn the back end. I want to be able to close all of my own loans. That was important to me. I didn't want to rely on anybody for anything. I wanted to know it all. So I did that in the beginning. I was a high volume processor, closed hundreds of loans for loan officers. Jackie was one of my loan officers that she was kind enough to use me as her processor. And I evolved from there into a loan officer. Advice.
Yes.
Find find your people that want to help you. Find your people that are there to support you and build you up. Jackie and I are in the same industry. We need the same realtors. We need the same buyers, but we are a team. We work together. If she needs something, I'm there. If I need something, she's there. Find your people that know more than you and lean into them. The right ones will allow you to. So that's definitely my advice.
And Jackie, as far as you, with your experience and your knowledge in the industry, how is the Coast2Coast experience for you in comparison to other lenders or other business partners that you may have collaborated with in the past?
Oh man, I actually have knowledge or working history of that. I was with another, and I won't say who they were. I was with another mortgage broker before Coast2Coast, and it's night and day. Just the support, the trust, the integrity. That I think that's a really big thing. You really, your clients depend on you to be integral. So it's just kind of who we are, Christy and I, as far as our upbringing and our values. So I really need whoever I'm, with as far as a broker to kind of mirror and be a reflection of who I am. And I find that to be the owners of Coast2Coast, Keith Richardson. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing. I really do appreciate your transparency. One of the things that really brings and gives Larry and myself a lot of value as far as hosting on this particular platform is that we try to give potential Brooks and Davis agents, potential affiliates, past business partners and collaborators an opportunity to meet the people that we work with, put names with faces, and for our past clients, allow them to have access to our directory of like-minded professionals that they can invest in and trust, to Ms. Singleton's point. And this is something, and I think that, and this is something that is really a highlight of my interviews that I like to do on a weekly basis, is I like to ask my people who sit in on the show, what was your last quote unquote job before becoming a business owner and an entrepreneur? What was the tipping point that motivated you to transition? And what were some of the potential roadblocks that you imagined would be that would stop you from transitioning, and how were you able to work through those?
Can I start? My job prior to coming into mortgage lending in any capacity was a corporate job. I was a purchasing administrator. In the last year that I was there, I purchased $33.5 million in product myself. My tipping point was I was to go on vacation, and they called me in and said they weren't going to pay me for it. And I hadn't gone on vacation in 2 years, and I hadn't seen my family. I hadn't seen a holiday. And that was it. They burned that bridge, and I was heartbroken at the time. And I decided I was going to do something different. I was never going to work for somebody ever again. It just wasn't going to happen. So I got into this as a processor. Like I said, I just started at the very bottom. I made no money when I started, zero, for about a year, working under someone who knew what to do, and then leaned into that. And then I went on my own and continued from there. Roadblocks and hurdles, crushed them. I couldn't focus on them. I can't even tell you what they were because I was refusing to give up. I would not quit. I was just going to keep going. I was going to get this, and I was going to be great. And that was it. I was just going to do it. Mm-hmm. Head down, keep going. That was it.
Absolutely. And Ms. Jacqueline, what was your life like before becoming a business leader, business owner, entrepreneur in the finance space?
Yeah. So I came from corporate / spinoff into my own world of physician ancillary investments. Yeah. So working with mostly doctors, it was great. I really, really, really did enjoy it. But then, there's some different regulations and things changed, and it really wasn't possible for it to kind of continue. Because it was just, the red tape, the government red tape just became too too much to continue. And so I knew because I had spun off and was working for myself, I knew I could not go and work corporate anywhere or work for somebody. I needed to continue. And because I like helping people, because I like pulling from my life experiences and relating and being empathetic to people. And I always thought, what is the one thing that's the most important to most people? I know for me, the one thing is it's their housing. It's their largest asset normally. And I'm like, how can I make the biggest difference in that? So just knowing who I am and my ability to, because again, with working with physicians, I dealt with a lot of financials. So that kind of allowed me to take that experience of working in finance to bring it to this, and coupled with, kind of my visions and values of how I like to, to treat people and help people. It just mirrored, and I would not be doing anything else. I think I tell everybody I'm never going to retire, and I'll be doing this until I'm 90. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, no, and that's great. Now, thank you so much. And I have no doubt that with your energy and passion, this is something that you'll continue to do for the coming decades. I just got a note from our producer that I had forgot to touch on something that I wanted to make sure we touched on. And this is for the members of the Brooks and Davis real estate firm and any other affiliate or realtor that may hear this interview. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about the rehab loan for realtors.
Yeah,
I want to make sure we touch on that, because with there being so much inventory in the market, resale as well as new home inventory, I want to make sure we give the realtors in our audience all the tools so that if their buyer does find a home that they fall in love with that may need a little TLC, there's resources in place to make sure they can close on that property. So Jackie, Christy, whoever would like to touch on that particular program, please do so. Absolutely. And Jess, if we can bring that information up on the screen, we'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. But go ahead.
Thank you, Ricardo. So yeah, that's kind of why we were very hungry to get to be able to be on this with you, Ricardo, because rehab lending is going to be our main focus in a lot of ways for the rest of this year and into next year. So I'm going to start with I want to put a question in your mind and your audience's mind. Have you ever, as a real estate agent, shown a buyer a house they loved, except it needed too much work? I mean, I think that happens all the time to agents. Maybe the kitchen was outdated, or they preferred a standing shower instead of a tub, or they wanted both, or maybe the roof was shot, or even worse, like the house had been trashed and there's like gaping holes in the house, or the floors ripped up. Sometimes squatters live there. Like, I really want you to paint this picture of these dilapidated houses that you, as an agent, would never take a client by, even if it's in the area that they want, even if it's 223 or 332 or whatever they're looking for as far as specs. You just wouldn't even show it to them. Buyers, they might love the location, but they often walk away, and you as the agent end up back at square one, because you're trying to find the buyer the home that they desire, at the location, at the price, like I said, with all the specs and the amenities that they're telling you they desire. But that becomes frustrating. But we have that solution, and the solution we have is the rehab lending. There are loans. So let me just slow down and say, instead of taking out a second loan or a client thinking about draining their savings after closing, your buyer gets one loan, one closing inside of 30 days that covers both the purchase of the property and the renovations. So buyers don't think about this often enough. Agents don't think about this option often enough. Christy and I have very much streamlined this process to make it easy for both of our agents and our buyers to use the FHA and the conventional loan option to buy a primary home or even an investment property, and even to refinance. If your house is just needs to be updated, you've got the money. We've got the tools to be able to help you do that. So some of the key takeaways that I want from this podcast, again, that I want your audience to remember, that you instantly open up more inventory. You instantly open up more inventory when you consider this rehab loan option. Your stale and dated listings suddenly become opportunities instead of dead weight. So you as the agent can dual list more properties because your sellers love that you're being able to sell their property as is without them having to like pump a bunch of money into it or get it up to par for the buyers to even consider it. Your agent position is improves because you become the problem solver, the agent with the options instead of the roadblocks. So you as the agent can say, no problem, we got a solution to that. I know this house is in the location you want. It's the size you want. It's everything you want, except it needs to be updated. No problem. And then when you help someone transform a fixer-upper into their dream home, they don't forget you. And that means more referrals to you as an agent. So I just want to make sure and remind you, I know we talked about this a little off camera, but we are working with a group that's developed an app that will allow agents like yourself, Ricardo, to virtually remodel existing properties. And you can market those virtual pictures in real time. You can also provide the clients with a line item bid of the renovations that you select on that virtual remodel. So they not only can they walk away with the pictures of the way the property will look after the remodel, they'll also know exactly how much that costs. So that's important when we pre-approve them, because again, it's one loan, one closing. So I need to know they need $30,000 worth of renovations, and their pre-approval's only for 200. So I know to tell you, the agent, look for a house south of 170, or put the offer in, I'm sorry, on that house, somewhere around 170, so that I can fit this, the total amount into the one loan, so that they'll qualify. So we back into a lot of these deals to make them all work for them. But all of this information about the virtual remodel is going to be available on your phone. So it's an app, and it's in beta right now, but it'll be released. It'll go live in January. So we're selectively picking real estate agents to train, so they'll have access to this, because it's going to be a game changer. It really, really is.
And I want to urge everyone in our audience to tap in with you ladies, follow you all on social media. So please, could you share your social media handles, websites, because I want not only for them to be able to have the insight of your knowledge and expertise, but to also know exactly when this app goes from beta to active. Yeah. Because to your point, this is going to be able to kind of help everyone who's never gone through that process before. Yeah. Reconcile all those moving pieces and put it in one place. So outstanding work by you and you guys' team, because I think that's something that's really long been overdue. So Christy, please share your social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. And then after, Jacqueline, could you do the same as well? There we go. Outstanding.
Yes, I'm at Mrs. Mortgage, and I also have Mortgage Lending by Christy on Facebook. Some people are more Facebook users. Those are my two social media platforms.
Perfect.
Yep. So, and I am at Miss Home Loans on Instagram, and my phone number is 214-907-0111. You can also email me at coast2coastml.com.
Thank you so much. And I must ask for the members of our audience that would love to meet, greet, and interact with you and members of your team in person. Will there be any opportunities to meet you and the Coast to Coast team? And if so, when, where, and how?
So we are getting prepared for the holidays. And during the holidays, we want to do some community outreach. So we're going to support the Abundant Kitchen Food Bank. We're going to support the one in Spring, Texas, which is where Jackie is. And we want to do some community outreach. We're huge with that. We want to do a food bank collection. We're going to help and partner with anybody who wants to. We'll probably end up packing some meals. Any way we can possibly contribute. We will post this on our Instagram. So if anybody is interested or wants to come and meet us, follow our Instagram, and we'll post updates on that.
Absolutely. Anything else, Jacqueline, or you're going to make sure that we all are excited to meet you at that food bank in Spring?
Yeah, no, for sure. But I really just want I want to connect with real estate agents, buyers. I want to walk you and your clients through exactly how this process works with the rehab lending. Don't make it be too complicated for yourself. We've done all the heavy lifting. All you got to do is contact us, and we'll get you the understanding of how it works and the tools to execute with your buyers as the agents.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much, man. This has been a great interview. I want to thank you so much for your transparency and your candor. I urge everyone in the audience to follow both of these ladies on Instagram at the Instagram handles that they previously shared. If you, Miss Christie, or you, Jacqueline, have any events, anything that you would like to share to the members of our brokerage or our audience online, please don't hesitate to reach out. Both of you ladies always have a chair to sit in with us. If you ever want to sit in again, share any new programs, we are definitely open to having both of you ladies back. So thank you so much for carving some time out of your schedule today, because I do understand Thursdays are so very busy. So thank both of you ladies.
Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Man, I want to thank everyone over at Coast2Coast Home Loans. I want to thank Miss Jacqueline and Miss Christie for being so generous with their time. Big, huge shout out to the whole team over at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Huge shout out to the team over at the Prime Real Estate Network. As always, I want to give a thank you to our super producer, Jay Joseph, behind the scenes, bringing this stream and show to you every week on Facebook and YouTube. Until next Thursday, when it's time for Prime Real Estate Network Live, I want everyone in our audience to please be safe and be blessed.